Okay, today we got a back workout. Favorite muscle group, always start with pull-ups. Today, can't see in this clip, but I have the wide grip lat bar on top of my pull-up bar because it's very wide. It makes pull-ups more difficult. I think it forces you to use less bicep, and I believe going wide and forcing yourself to get good at doing wide grip pull-ups will lead to a wide back. I've always focused on going very wide. And then when you have a go back to a normal grip, makes it feel significantly easier. Here I'm just doing 3 sets, I think like maybe 10, 15 reps. Just get blood in the back, get it pumped up. So overall, you know, pull-ups, especially wide grip pull-ups, really hit your whole back. So it's a good way to stretch out and warm up before a workout. I'm a big fan of pull-ups and weighted pull-ups. I've done weighted pull-ups for the, majority of the time I've been training. I've always done weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, weighted body weight exercise in general. I think they are top level back builder. Here, doing a few more sets. I generally like to start from the concept is I start with the wide grip exercises, kind of working from the outside of the back end. And now another wide grip exercise, the bent over barbell rows. Bread and butter exercise, fundamental when it comes to back development. This is a very advanced exercise for me in particular because one of my knees consists of a hinge, so there's no real control over what the knee does. So there's a lot of focus on keeping everything straight and takes away from the fun a little bit. But all I know is when I'm done doing this, I feel the muscle worked. I know it's working, and it's difficult. And I just have a very strong belief that the things that are difficult are beneficial. Generally, for the most part, how it works. There are exceptions, but it's usually the things you don't want to do are the things that are best for you. I went to some lat pull downs with one of these bars. I don't know what they're called. I'm able to use a nice hook grip around the sides. Feels good. Good stretch. You're able to really pull it into your chest. I feel like lat pull downs are always the first exercise in any back routine. It's always been for me. You know, pretty common. My pull-ups are my first exercise, but not everybody likes to do pull-ups in the beginning of a back routine. Trying to keep not throw my back too far back, like use too much lower back to pull the weight down. I do it though. I focus on it. Initially I try and keep my lower back stiffer, and then I'll use a little bit of the lower back to help squeeze out a few more reps. Is one of those exercises where you could cheat in a manner that's effective and safe, so to speak. Not very dangerous if you're, able to manage your form. My original back routine that I did for the first probably couple years I trained was overkill. I didn't understand what I was like. I didn't know what to do in the gym. So I remember asking uh, someone what's for back, and just every single thing in the gym they pointed to, I did it. And I also, you know, was for lat pull downs, I'd start wide grip, and then I'd move to reverse grip, and then I would just change the handle, and I would always do low cable rows. Like I killed it. You know what? When I was younger, and I don't, there's a lot of talk about overtraining. I used to train for hours, very heavy, pretty much every day, and when you're young in your teens and 20s, you could, I guess you could handle it. I didn't know what I was doing diet wise. I didn't understand, I just had some magazines to read back in the day. This is way before the internet. And, but yeah, once I started realizing about the importance of protein, started noticing some improvement. I didn't know anything else. I just knew you want to eat protein. I didn't really understand much outside if I saw the label on food that said protein. So that meant I should eat it. I've come a long way since then. Here we go with some dumbbell rows. Great exercise. Big fan of dumbbell rows. Allows you to really stretch out your lats, use decent amount of weight. I always say start with your weaker side first. I generally, for every exercise, I always start on my left side. I'm only saying that because I noticed that I started with my right side, but it was just circumstantial where the dumbbell was and the bench was at the time. And I always start with the weaker arm first and match it. That is a general rule of thumb. If you're, doing an isometric exercise and you're able to do, you know, 10 reps on your weaker side, you stop at 10 reps on your stronger side. You don't really want to try and have uneven development. The truth of the matter is that, that's I think that, yeah, it's a good thing to do, but like the reality of it is it's so marginal. It's difficult to notice, and not to mention there's a genetic component about in terms of the different size and shape of every muscle in the body and its symmetry. Um, that applies to strength, but yeah, obviously you don't want a substantial difference in strength between your left or your right. It's funny. I One of the reasons I like working out at home is I tend to do more dumbbell and barbell stuff just because I don't have machines. When you go to the gym, especially, sometimes you tend to be a little lazy. You might do more machines than you probably should. I still believe that free weights are always going to be the best in terms of uh, building overall strength. That's it. Just have a little pump my arms. Enjoying been eating a bit of extra food, knowing there's a good probability I might compete at the end of the year, so I'm not really too crazy about my diet as long as I'm getting in enough calories and enough protein. So that's what I should be saying, enough protein. I don't want to lose weight, but I also, I don't like to get too soft. Like I like to stay relatively lean all year. This is probably the fattest I'll get. When I say fat, you know what I mean.